Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, we're back again with another Alliance War video, this time going up against new Avengers. It looks like they ended up finishing in Plat 1 last season. So obviously we were not taking this war lightly, but we went in it as favorites, and it was quite a nice little change of pace after last set of 3 wars, some of whom were quite intensive and stressful. So I'm going to be on path 1 in section 1, then I'm going to have a bit of a move to a different path that I'm used to. It's going to be path 6. So we're going to have a chance to have a bit different fights. So this first one is here, Tigra, once again. It's like very popular placement, and I can kind of see why, I guess, but honestly, since she's there so often, I am generally not all that fast or worried. The node combination is relatively straightforward. It's Arc Overlord with Vigorous Assault. So basically, whenever opponent's regenerating, they are unblockable, and Arc Overlord starts the fight with that regen active, so they are unblockable at the very start. So I was kind of pondering which champion should I bring in, Human Torch or Dr. Doom. Then I realized that for most of the fights, I'm gonna end up using Human Torch later on. So I'm just going to bring in Doom. Plus Doom obviously has the added benefit of gaining power quicker thanks to the buffs that Tiger is going to be getting. More power control, and I don't know, he's quite tanky. It just feels very secure and safe using Dr. Doom typically. And it's very hard to actually die with him, especially if you bring him in a proper matchup with some boost active. And yeah, so we can see here that I'm already past 2 bars of power. So was she, so I decided just to block bait a heavy attack there for a bit. I got the 3 bars of power, dropped my heavy, staggered her up, and we're just gonna go in your standard Doom cycle, which is probably quite significant overkill here. So I activate my level 3, Tiger goes down to 40%. I'm gonna do the double medium, triple light, double medium combo, and then drop level 1, get 2 bars of power. And that level 2 is way overkill. Still, quite quick fight, a minute, and the fight's done. Very simple, very straightforward, not that much to worry about. And yeah, overall, Tiger really doesn't seem too tricky of an opponent here. Now, we're going to be going up against Human Torch on Masochism. So I could use a Human Torch against Human Torch if I wanted to, and activate the pre-fight ability. That would also be very safe, stable fight. But I'm just gonna bring in Quake for this one. Right, so here with Quake, I will have a bit of a brain fart. And that is that I will kind of start trying to parry him at every earliest convenience, and that is one of the stupidest things that you can do, and I don't know why I did it. Because obviously you trigger masochism more often than you would otherwise, and he heals more, you do less damage, and you do not leave yourself much chance to bypass the masochism, which Quake is perfectly capable of doing. So at some point I do realize my critical effort, but here critical failure. But here we can see that nearly a minute in the fight, he's still at 71%. Now I was never worried about timing out, but stretching a Quake fight longer than it's necessary, it's always kind of annoying. You just end up exhausting your fingers. So I abandoned that and I just went on to full heavy dex everything. Hopefully try and bypass the masochism as often as you can. And now that I saw that the masochism timer is down, obviously I reverted back to parries, getting some free parries, just kind of like how maximum uptime of me charging heavy attacks. And as soon as I changed the approach to that fight, obviously the fight itself started going quite significantly quicker. I have a higher chance of my aftershock concussions actually sticking that stun. And yeah, we have definitely increased the pace. Now we have 3 minutes 15 on the clock. He's at 24%. So we're well on a target here. And I will make a quite annoying mistake though. You can see at the very end, he's like 12%. And I will get hit very hard. Here you can see 2 crits. One of them incinerates me as well. And that took away 30% of my health immediately. But still, fair enough. 30% loss, obviously it's not perfect, it's not ideal, but it's not exactly scary either. Now, I could have taken that Silver Surfer, but obviously I was out of energy. Next time I happened to check Alliance War, that Silver Surfer was already deadish. And there was another fight before that, which was Professor X on the Footloose node, which I also could have and wanted to take, but I didn't quite make it there. Anyways, so now I'm on path 6, and I haven't taken this path in quite a while. So that's my first time here, but it's certainly, I think, trickier to the path 1 that I typically do in section 2. Especially this first fight here is Rage node, and I always hate going up against Rage. And it's Iron Man Infinity War. And what I did for this fight, the only boost that I have currently active is 20% health boost, and I have taken off all of my offensive masteries. And by doing so, I basically have reduced the damage that I'm going to be doing, but most importantly, I have also reduced my chance to crit, my crit damage. Therefore, as we can see, I can throw whichever attacks I like, and I'm not triggering a single fury buff on that Iron Man Infinity War, which is quite vital. You never want to trigger rage if you do not plan to use and abuse and nullify those rage buffs. And as often is the case when you're using Human Torch against Iron Man Infinity War, the longer the fight goes, the more and more damage I end up doing with my Incinerate debuffs anyways, because he drops a lot of energy attacks, and with that I get to build up my smolders a lot. We can see that at this point I'm at like 18 smolders, so the Incinerates do a ton of damage. My temperature is consistently topped up. Here I started evading some of those level 1s to avoid some more block damage because, well, I have already kind of like plenty Incinerates. And here he enters his like quote-unquote danger zone under 15%, but the Incinerates are eating away his health quite rapidly, and a couple more heavy attacks in there. The fight is over, finished it without triggering a single rage buff. Now the next fight is going to be Magneto, and I had options to use for that fight. Obviously I wouldn't want to use Dr. Doom because Dr. Doom is a metal champion, but before I do anything with any champion, obviously I had to go and put on my masteries, because as I said, I had removed every single point from my offense tree, and now I'm gonna reapply all of them because there's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't have them active for the next fight. But yeah, I could have and possibly should have used Quake. I think using Quake would have likely been the quote-unquote safer option for that aggression prowess power focus 2, but I wanted to use Human Torch because obviously Human Torch shreds through Magnetos as well, because every attack Magneto drops is energy attack, so I should be able to build up smolders. I should be able to remain quite consistently aggressive, because once I push him past 2 bars of power, he should have significantly reduced power gain, and that is the plan. Also, obviously, I do not want to die, and I do want to make sure that I survive, and losing some health will not be the biggest issue. So the plan from the beginning was to be aggressive, to push him past 2 bars of power, to remain aggressive, not waste too much time and let him build up prowesses, baiting out the special attacks. And I didn't even try to dodge. I can evade these reliably, and I'm getting even better recently by evading these attacks because of how often we get to fight them in Alliance Quest. But ultimately, I went with just be safe option, blocked that special attack, took some block damage, but we saw that Magneto absolutely melted down. And now for the last fight of the war, I'm going to be using Human Torch once again, and that's going to be against that Mojo over there. Unfortunately, my boost had expired. Well, it is what it is. I wish I could have done the next fight as well on the same set of boosts, but it didn't quite work out like that, had to wait a bit, but it's all fair in games. So my last fight is that Mojo on the Greater White Tail. No, it's not. Either way, it's the healing mini boss, I think you can call it. I'm gonna activate the Flame On here, And I have removed Dexterity Mastery. That means I cannot gain a buff on Human Torch no matter how hard I tried, and that's definitely going to help me quite significantly when it comes to feel a lot more free playing against Mojo. And I also activated, I think it's called Stupefy Mastery, where opponents have 30% reduced regen and power rate when they're stunned. So I'm only striking Mojo whilst he's stunned, and I'm also dropping like medium light combos to make sure they can gain the smolder passives as quickly as I can and do as much damage as I can without giving him too much power. So that's kind of name of the game here. As we can see at this point, I'm already at like 23 smolders and he's pretty much dead. He's going down extremely quickly. So the war is actually still carrying on, and definitely shout out to New Avengers. They're putting out a good fight. It does, however, look like quite certain that we will pull out the victory in this war. So it means if there are no unpleasant surprises, we should be at 7-0 for the season. Still should have that first spot, and hopefully that is exactly where we're going to finish this season. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you have, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about